Hi, my name is Dayan. I'm a principal software engineer here at Algolia, and today I'm very excited to show you what we've been working on with AI for e-commerce. We're delighted to demonstrate how the power of generative AI can transform shopping experiences. Let's get started. We'll be working off of this website. This is an electronics e-commerce website and should be familiar to many of you. It already uses Algolia. We have a search box over here letting us search through popular queries. We have a search page with results. And we even have recommendations on the product detail page with Algolia Recommend. And finally, you can compare products like this to make your choice between similar products. So we are in a good place already. But what if we could make this site smarter? Sometimes you shop knowing exactly what you want, and sometimes not at all. For example, I would like to set up a home theater at my place, but I have literally no idea what I need. All my friends have a different opinion. There's a ton of information on the internet, and now I'm lost. I feel like I have to buy a ton of things from 5 different places. I don't know how much I should spend on each item, and I don't even know if it's compatible with stuff that I already have. Being overwhelmed with choice is a typical feeling when you enter a store that offers many options. And at Algolia, we feel that every customer should feel inspired when they're shopping. With generative AI and large language models, a new world of possibility opens up to leverage Algolia. Let's improve this experience with AI to improve the end user's shopping journey. I've installed a new package, Algolia Commerce AI, to my site. Note that this is not publicly available yet, so don't be too disappointed if you try to install it at home and it doesn't work. This package offers primitives for us to leverage the power of generative AI in our existing e-commerce site. Shoppers often want to learn more about what they're looking to purchase, but they don't know where to look. Instead of letting them wander around the internet and compare blog posts that won't necessarily redirect to you, what if you could provide such guidance directly from your site? On the homepage, we're displaying top products per category to help shoppers discover our entire catalog. And conveniently, I have the category for home theaters right here. But right now, it doesn't really help me know what I need since I'm starting from scratch. Introducing the buyer's guide. With generative AI, we can generate guides on the fly for any product category and source suggestions from your Algolia index. So this is my code to display categories. It matches this part over here. So for each category, I'm using this component. And now I'm going to inject the buyer's guide here. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap all of this with the buyer's guide. All right, pretty nice. Now we're going to pass the current category to the buyer's guide. Pretty cool. Next up, we're going to start displaying something. So we want to generate the buyer's guide when we click on a button that I'm going to add right here near the title. So I'm going to use the buyer's guide button. And now you have a little button here. Right now, if I click on it, it's not going to do anything because I am not currently displaying the content of my guide once it's generated. Let's change that. What I want to do is replace those items with the buyer's guide content once it has been generated. So let's move on with that. I'm going to wrap all of this with the buyer's guide content. And instead of adding my markup as children, I'm going to pass it as a fallback. All right. So it's going to display it only when the buyer's guide content has not been generated. And when it has, we're going to use a render prop to show it. So it exposes a summary, suggestions, and now we can return something. Okay, so let's paste that. Magic. All right, so here, first thing that we're doing is that we're displaying the summary paragraph per paragraph. Let's import that thing that we need. Okay, and then I'm iterating over all the suggestions and I'm displaying them as little cards for category previews. All right, let's try it. Now, whenever I click on Generate Buyer's Guide, for example, for TV and home theater, it's going to generate it and show my buyer's guide. So as you can see, I have a little summary here and I have suggestions. So now I know categories that are interesting for me to look at when I'm interested in TV and home theater. Not only random products, but specific categories. And then I can view them directly by clicking on those little cards. Great. Now this might be enough for customers who feel confident to self-serve, but we also want to help shoppers who require more direct help. Just like physically shopping in stores, some shoppers might be lost within the virtual aisles searching for the product they need. And this is the point when they may look for a real person to ask for help. We are recreating this experience with a virtual shopping assistant that customers can talk to find the products they need. So now what I want to do is add a chat assistant. I want it to display here on the right, and I'm going to have an ever-floating button always present everywhere on the site to open it. So I'm going to go back in my code, and I'm going to add my chat assistant component just right here. All right. Now I need a button to open it. So I have my chat assistant button. Let's go back on the site. You can see that now I have this little button. And when I click it, it opens a chat assistant, which greets me with my name because I'm logged in. It already knows who I am. So that's pretty cool. And I think we should have a conversation. But before that, we're going to integrate the chat assistant with our existing features, the existing capabilities of the site to make it even better, even smarter. So first thing is that we're going to make it able to compare elements using the comparator feature that I showed you earlier. So I'm going to go back in my code, and here I'm going to add capabilities. The first one is going to be the compare capability. And on compare, which is a function which exposes suggestions, I'm going to, if the suggestion, and it's actually a suggestion and not a suggestions, if the suggestion has items, I'm going to clear the comparator if it already has stuff in it, and I'm going to add to comparator my suggestion items. All right, cool. Next up, when the chat tells me about something that I'm interested in, I am going to ask it to add it to my cart. It can actually do that automatically. So I'm going to add another capability, which is the cart. And on select, whenever I select verbally an item, I'm going to let it add to cart the item, one item of that kind, and that's it. All right. And now we're going to have a conversation. So, hello, Sarah. I'm your personal shopping assistant. How may I help you today? I want to buy a home theater. All right, I need to ask you a few clarifying questions. Are you looking for something specific? Would you like me to assist? I don't know what to buy and I'm afraid it's gonna be too expensive. Okay, so it tells me something not too expensive. What is the price range you're looking for? So that's interesting. It's very contextual. I can give actually my price range. So let's say I don't want to buy anything over like 1,000 for the whole package. Great, thank you for that information. I can recommend the following categories: soundbar, subwoofers, speakers. That's super interesting because I have no idea about those things. I don't even know what a subwoofer is, right? So that's pretty cool that it tells me exactly what I need. It's the same basically as the buyer's guide, but with a lot more hand holding. Okay, so which category I want to start with? I don't know, like soundbars, I guess. That's the first. I guess it's important. Oh, okay. So it just handpicked from the Algolia index. It just handpicked soundbars that are interested in that might be in my budget. And as you can see, I have this compare button here enabled by the compare capability, and I can actually click it. And here in my comparator, I have all the products, and you know, I can add them to the cart right away. I can remove them from the comparator, and I can compare every feature that they have in common. So that's pretty nice. Okay, so that's cool. Let's keep on having that conversation. Okay, let's say I like the LG one. Look at that. Excellent, Sarah. Let me add that to your cart. So it understood that I wanted the LG one, and because I've implemented the cart capability, it just added it to my cart. And so I have the LG soundbar in my cart. How fantastic is that? That we have just we're close to a conversion thanks to the help of a shopping assistant. That's pretty neat. Now this is pretty cool, but currently we only have one place to open the chat from. Some shoppers will find it, but others might miss it if they are focused on a single area of the screen. And that would be a shame to be wandering around, lost in the aisles, and not even see the help offered to you, right? One big focus area on e-commerce sites is the search box. Shoppers quickly reach for it, so it might be a good idea to have a call to action there. So for now, my autocomplete is only query suggestions, and that's okay. But the problem is that if I type something and the suggestions really don't inspire me, I could miss out on the help that's right here because I'm focused on that area. So what we're gonna do is add a little piece of UI here to also have a call to action to open the chat if I'm not inspired by those suggestions. So to do that, I'm first going to create a component. It's going to be called autocomplete footer. And this autocomplete footer is going to take a few props. We'll see that after, but they are autocomplete component params. And it's going to return a little bit of markup. So the first thing is going to be a wrapping div. Inside of it, we're going to have a little piece of text with a little icon. Cannot find what you're looking for. Then what do? You reach out to your chat assistant. So I'm going to use my chat assistant button, the same as the other one. It's going to be styled differently. I already did the CSS beforehand. Not going to bore you with that. And pass it a piece of text. And so now I will have a chat assistant button. But I can actually do a little bit more. I can actually pass it a little bit of context. So because this will be passed to autocomplete, I will have access to the query, which is exposed in those props on the state. So I can pass it a query, and the query is going to be state query. And of course, as I click on it, it's going to open the chat assistant. So I want to close the autocomplete. So I also have access to set is open. And on click here, we're going to pass set is open to false. Okay, so now I have my component. I can actually display it in my autocomplete. So let's go back up. Let's find the autocomplete. Where is it? It's here. So here I'm going to be able to pass a layout prop. And my layout prop takes an object of layouts. I'm going to pass a footer, which exposes some parameters and returns my autocomplete footer, onto which I'm going to spread the params. And there we go. So now if we go back here and I click and I have this thing here, cannot find what you're looking for, chat now. So now if I type home theater or whatever else, and I'm not too inspired by those query suggestions, I'm lost, I'm overwhelmed, right away I'm going to notice this little thing here. Now, we're out of time, so we cannot show you everything, but we've been exploring a lot more than this. To give you a preview, I'm going to wrap up with a complete experience that leverages generative AI in multiple places of the site. For example, you could have more chat call to actions on the homepage to start conversations from suggestions. So for example, here I have all those buttons. I'm interested in Fire TV, Amazon Fire TV, etc. All those come from Algolia. They are related to this category. And now I can click here and start a conversation with my assistant, which already knows what I'm interested in. You could also add one on the search page, injected in the search results, so shoppers can find help after they've been scrolling through many results without finding what they want. And you could have one in the product detail page to ask for help on a specific item you still have questions about. And let's not forget the buyer's guide, which you could leverage in other places than just the homepage. For example, you could pair it with the search box and generate guides based on your query. So here I integrated the buyer's guide on the right panel, and if I type a query such as home theater, it's going to generate a guide for me. If this gets you curious, interested, even excited, please sign in on our form and be the first to know about the new improvements we make on AI for e-commerce. Have a great rest of the DevCon.